I've been in a rut before, okay, and let me tell you, it ain't pretty. Okay, it's all muddy everywhere, and there are also worms everywhere. Sometimes these worms will mock you. Okay, they used to laugh at me just at the fact that I was in a rut. I even got into a fight with a worm at one point, yeah. And this is what I look like afterwards. Wait, no, actually, this is what I look like before. This is what I look like afterwards. What the fuck? Yeah, wasn't much of a looker after that. But don't fear, because I did eventually get out of this rut. And in this video, I'm gonna give you the secrets for how I did. Earlier this year, I fell into a pretty bad rut. I wasn't putting in the reps every single day. There were no votes that were being cast towards my most desired future. I wasn't working on my business. I wasn't hitting the gym. I wasn't starting my day off with like a win, you know, doing the good habits in the morning. Now obviously I was miserable, but that's not just because I was doing the bad habits and missing out on the good ones. I was mainly miserable because I had such little control over my actions. I was miserable not only because I was doing the bad habits, but also because I didn't feel powerful enough. I didn't feel in control enough to actually stop myself from doing the bad habits and go in the other direction. It was my lack of control and the overall powerlessness that really made me feel depressed, really made me feel like I just wasn't in control, made me feel trapped. I would try to get out of this rut. You know, I would typically get like the 3 AM motivation, tell myself that I'm gonna get back on track tomorrow, start writing down all of the things that I wanna do like in the morning with this assurance that like, oh, I'm definitely gonna complete them. What do you think happened for so long? Do you think that like me basically getting the 3 AM motivation, writing down all my goals, and then just assuring myself that I'm gonna do them did the trick? No, I'd wake up late, which would automatically start the day with a loss. And then because I'd started the day with a loss, I'd have no motivation to basically rack up wins, to come back from the loss. And I'd let another day go by, having made little to no progress towards getting out of this rut. This cycle repeated itself for a while until I finally tried something different. I had gotten out of the rut eventually. I was back in the gym, I was gaining more strength. I was producing meaningful work towards my business. There are 3 very important variants that I'm going to tell you about when it comes to getting out of a rut. These variables are the only way that you will get back on track. I don't just say that to promote the video, I say that because it's true. Starting with progressive overload. When you first start lifting in the gym, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to bench 100 kilos for even 1 rep. If you decided to try on your first day, you'd probably fail. This is very simply because you're just not strong enough yet. Your chest and tricep muscles literally just aren't big enough yet. They haven't been conditioned enough to lift that kind of weight. How you do eventually get to 100 kilograms on bench press is with progressive overload. You do a weight that is difficult, but that you can manage with good form. And you do sets of that weight until you hit a certain number of reps. Let's just say like 8. Then you go up in weight to a weight that feels more challenging, but that you can still like manage, you can still handle it, you can still keep good form. And you just repeat that cycle. Eventually, you will reach 100 kilograms on bench, but that will only happen with this progressive overload. If you failed that 100 kilogram bench on your first day, you got really angry and you just decided, oh, I'm just gonna try again tomorrow, or I'm definitely gonna get it tomorrow. Do you think you'd be able to lift it tomorrow? No. Obviously not. But let's say you're really stubborn, okay, you're really adamant, you just keep going back to the gym, keep attempting it over and over and failing until you eventually like get it, like that's your mission. A month down the line, you're still not going to be able to lift the weight, okay? You're just keeping yourself in this retarded cycle. This is the predicament that a lot of young men get themselves into when they enter a rut. For the past few weeks or even months, they haven't worked out, they haven't been eating clean, they haven't woken up early, they haven't done any of their good habits, let's just say for the sake of the video, like meditating and gratitude journaling. Then they'll get a spurt of motivation at 3 AM and they'll say, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up at 6 AM, I guess like in 3 hours time I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do 10 minutes of meditation like I used to be able to do, and I'm also gonna fill out an entire page of gratitude journaling, and I'm gonna run 5 kilometers just like they were doing weeks ago. And of course they don't stick to the plan. Why? Because they can't stick to the plan. Let's say in this gym analogy that there's a guy who used to be able to bench 100 kilograms maybe like 2 years ago. Since then, he's fallen off from the gym. He hasn't been lifting at all. If he got back in the gym and he attempted to lift that 100 kilograms again, he's probably gonna fail it because he has no momentum, no recent experience. He's basically lost a lot of his experience from his time off. Let's say you used to be really good at a video game. You used to be able to complete a certain level within like a certain time limit. If you took a lot of time away from that game, before you're able to beat that level with the same time again, you're gonna have to warm up, okay? You're gonna have to suss out the controls again. You're gonna have to like get a hang of the game again. And this is the exact same with self-improvement, with falling off from a routine. When that happens, you can't cheat your way back up to the top. You can't cheat your way back up to where you used to be. Once again, you can continue trying, but you're just gonna find yourself in 2 weeks' time up at 3 a.m, getting that burst of motivation. You're basically in the same retarded cycle. Instead, humble yourself and progressively overload it. If you're currently up at like 3 a.m, don't set a goal to wake up in 3 hours time. You're not gonna be able to wake up in 3 hours time. Instead, just set a goal to wake up like half an hour to an hour earlier than what you currently are waking up at. Like, let's say you're waking up at like, I don't know, 2 p.m. or something. Maybe it's a bad rut. Just set a goal to wake up at 1 p.m, 1:30. Plan to do literally 10 seconds of meditation. I know it sounds so ridiculous, and I know it's like there's basically no point in doing 10 seconds of meditation, but the idea is just to build momentum. The idea is just to tick off the box of meditation, like the overall box of I have meditated, ticking that off so that you can build the momentum. 10 seconds of meditation, then 15, then 20, then 30, then you'll do a minute, then maybe you'll do 2 minutes, maybe you'll do 3. You know, maybe after 2 weeks you're doing 5 minutes. That's like half of what you used to be able to do. Let's say you used to be able to do 10. Then eventually 2-3 weeks time, however long it takes, it can take like, I don't know, it can take like a week, it can take like a couple of weeks. You're back up to doing 10 minutes every single day. This is the exact same for working out and every other good habit. Acknowledge that you're weaker now, humble yourself in a sense, and just start off lighter. The guy who actually does this is going to be out of the rut in a few weeks. The guy who doesn't do this, he's not going to be out of the rut in a few weeks. He's just going to stay in that retarded cycle. Fleeing instead of fighting. You're likely in a rut, not just because you aren't doing the good habits, but also because you've started doing the bad ones again. You need to start running away from whatever it is that triggers you to indulge in these bad habits. If we imagine this same guy from earlier who was up at 3 a.m, like he's in a rut, he's up at 3 a.m, he's getting the motivational spurt. He's convincing himself that he is capable of living that good, disciplined life that he was living a few weeks ago. He's capable of living that now. Let's also say that he has fallen prey to lust again. Okay, he's started gooning. How do you think this guy has gotten his motivational spur in the first place? Because he's scrolling on TikTok. He's watching all of this motivational lifestyle content and gym edits. This is why he's like so motivated. Eventually, he sees a girl on his feed. He's in an environment where you can be exposed to really attractive women because you can't see what you're scrolling to, and he's currently in a rut. Meaning he doesn't have the same willpower and experience that he had before. But let's say like he scrolls past, but then he gets another one. He starts to watch them for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, but obviously that triggers the algorithm, right? The algorithm just wants you to stay on. Triggers the algorithm puts even more onto your feed. Long story short, our boy ends up gooning. Okay, he ends up gooning. This happened because he willingly put himself into a dangerous environment. When you scroll on TikTok, you have very little control over what comes next. He put himself into that environment at 3 a.m. when he is in a rut, when he doesn't have the same willpower that he previously had a few weeks ago. He's put himself in that position. Scrolling on TikTok or Reels for somebody who has more willpower, somebody who's been, you know, locked in for a little while, they haven't been shackled to their vices in a little while, it's probably not going to have the same outcome and effect that it has with this guy because this guy's in a rut. They'd likely have the discipline to scroll past and basically take no action. But this guy didn't. Instead of fleeing from the environment, he decided to stay and attempt to fight it, which it was obviously a battle that he was going to fail because he doesn't have the willpower anymore. Let's say you struggle playing too many video games in a rut. What do you think you should do in order to quit this vice? Should you leave your PS5 plugged in, basically plugged into your monitor, plugged into your TV, ready to switch on and play whenever you feel like it? It's very easy to get to. No, that's really, really retarded. You should unplug it and put it somewhere very far away from you, somewhere out of your sight. In other words, you should run away from video games. You should flee from the PS5 instead of choosing to just challenge your limited willpower. In fact, instead of choosing to challenge your willpower that you don't have. It's not even limited, you just don't have it anymore. By just keeping it there and continuing to fight the urges to go on it, you're not gonna win. Okay, your willpower is nerfed. You are nerfed right now. You're not the same level that you used to be before. I would delete TikTok and Instagram in times like this because you can always get them back. I usually keep my PS5 in a rucksack at the back of my cupboard, and anything else that you can do to basically just flee from these habits, to not keep the triggers around, to basically run away from the triggers in order to avoid more of the bad behavior. Take this action, because right now you've proven to yourself that you aren't strong enough to rely on your willpower. You don't have your willpower right now. If you were strong enough, you wouldn't be in a rut right now, but you are. So start fleeing instead of fighting. There is no tomorrow. One of the worst mistakes that you can make when it comes to literally any meaningful action. I'm not just talking about getting out of a rut, I'm talking about starting a business that you've wanted to start. I'm talking about starting the gym that you've wanted to start for a while. I'm talking about approaching a girl at your church that you really like and you think she's wonderful, and you're basically just procrastinating going up to talk to her. Is believing in your ability to start tomorrow, or like start clean tomorrow, to have some kind of advantage and further momentum if you started later rather than sooner. It makes no sense. How many times have you tried this? How many times have you promised that you're going to take action tomorrow, you're going to take action in a week, in a month, and obviously not followed through? Countless, because the idea of having some kind of advantage to starting tomorrow instead of right now is stupid. It's just a cope. If you want something bad enough, you will start now. You will start pursuing it now. That's just a rule of life. The guy who wants to get out of a rut more than you, he's starting right now. He's not starting tomorrow. The guy who wants to start a business and basically like financially free himself, he's not starting tomorrow. He's not starting next week. He's not starting in a month when he gets a little bit of time off like his actual job. No, he's finding time right now to start. Starting tomorrow is basically you saying, I do want to get out of a rut, but what I want even more for myself right now is to stay in it, to continue indulging in bad habits and feel less guilty because I'm falsely assured that I'm just gonna start clean tomorrow anyway. It's all one big cope and you need to snap out of it. I'm gonna give you some advice for what you can do right now. And I think the only kind of circumstance that I would say, okay, maybe you don't listen to this advice, maybe you do actually wait until tomorrow, as if it's already like ridiculously late. Okay, cool. In that case, the action that you can take instead is to just turn your phone off, turn your laptop off, turn all lights and sound off, close your eyes and give yourself enough time, like 20 minutes if you need, of just darkness and silence to fall asleep. You can do that right now. If it's late and you want this bad enough, you can do that right now, okay? You have free will. You can control yourself to do that. If it's still a reasonable time for you, what can you do right now to get out of this rut? Just have a think to yourself. Can you delete those apps that we spoke about earlier? Can you delete Instagram? Can you delete TikTok? Can you unplug your PS5, your Xbox? Can you actually put it away? Is it still early enough to get a little 0.5 kilometer run in? Is it early enough to still get like a 0.2 kilometer run in? If that even, I don't know, maybe that would just be like 20 seconds of running. Or maybe it's still early enough to get ready and go and get a gym session in, get like half of what the gym session that you would have done before. Can you practice 10 seconds of meditation right now? Could you literally write like a line, like 3 words of gratitude? There are things that you can do right now to get out of this rut. This action that you can take right now. You can't trust yourself in the morning. You're a completely different person in the morning. You're an inconsistent person because all the other times that you've tried to rely on that near future version of yourself, that version of yourself in the morning, he's let you down. Now, right this second, this version of you, there is no tomorrow, okay? You've really got to start right now. Hopefully, you now know how to escape a rut when you get into one, so that you don't get beat up by the worms like I did. Okay, I'm really embarrassed about it. Stop talking about it. Send this video to your nan to help her get out of a rut. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm pretty active over there, okay? I promise you. They are in the description. Also like and also subscribe, and also what's the thing that you usually say to people when you're greeting them, but when you're not greeting them, when you're telling them that they should go away now, is I think it says goodbye.